What's going on, gang? It's your boy Stevie J from SJ Got the Juice TV. In this video, we had the 100 ENT floor discussing Coach Prime. Yes, Deion Sanders, man. Shout out to Coach Prime, man. Apparently, he's been having some real issues with his feet. I didn't even know that he only had 8 toes, and now reports are saying it's so severe that he might even have to have his foot amputated. So shout out to Coach Prime. For those of you who don't know who that is, man, legendary NFL star, went to Jackson State, brought them to their first undefeated season in school history, and now he's doing this thing up there in Colorado. So we wish him good health. We'll get to the content. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for your boy. Let's go.
Some updates on Mr. Primetime Deion Sanders, man. Apparently, he's at risk to have his left foot amputated due to circulation issues. Yo, Ebony, you here? Ebony here to read this article.
Yeah, I'm here. What we have here?
Can you read the article up top?
All right, let me see. Deion Sanders is at risk of having his left foot amputated due to circulation issues, doctors say. Okay, so University of Colorado head football coach Deion Sanders is at risk of having his left foot amputated due to poor circulation, according to doctors at the school. The 55-year-old former NFL and MLB star met with his medical team on an episode of the pregame show on YouTube and revealed he can't feel the bottom of his left foot. In the meeting, he discusses the possible next steps to alleviate the daily pain. The doctor suggesting doing an initial surgery on Sanders' foot to realign one or more of his toes that they have had more pressure put on him due to his previous toe amputations. Earlier this year, Sanders said he had 9 surgeries, including 8 within a month on his left leg after developing blood clots that resulted in him having 2 toes amputated in 2021 while he was the football's head coach at Jackson State University. Sanders missed 3 games due to the amputations. In quotations, he says, "You just have to understand what the risks are. Things can cascade." Vascular surgeon Dr. Donald Jacobs tells Sanders, while adding that he was not only at risk of losing another toe, but possibly his whole foot if he didn't heal correctly from the surgery due to poor circulation. "Well, I know what the risks are. I only have 8 toes, so I'm pretty sure I understand," Sanders replies. "I just want to know what we can do because I want to do it this summer. Because when we get rolling, I'm not going to have time to do it," he says later. Sanders' medical team consists of Jacobs, vascular surgeon Dr. Max Waller, orthopedic surgeon, and Dr. Ken Hunt, and athletic trainer Lauren Askevold, according to the video. In December, Sanders, now often called Coach Prime, derived from his nickname Primetime from his playing days, was hired to become head coach of the Buffalo's football program. Colorado opens their campaign on September 2nd against last season's college football playoff finalist TCU. And yeah, that's it.
Damn, man. Prayers for Primetime. I didn't know he had 8 toes, though. That's what threw me.
Yeah, he said he had 8 toes, so he pretty much knows
Yeah, he has
the next step.
He has big toes amputated.
Which is hard to even have your balance without your big toes.
Can you walk?
Yeah, you can't really. They say you can't walk without your big toes because that's what balances you pretty much. What keeps us standing up is our big toes.
So is he already in the wheelchair? Anybody know?
I don't think he's in a wheelchair.
Yo, I got a homie. Both his big toes.
He's out of.
He's not in a wheelchair. He used a little wheelchair thing that you roll with one leg, like you push off one leg. He do that shit sometimes, but he walk for the most part, and sometimes he go back to that joint. But that's a sad situation, man. Kind of rooting for this guy, you know what I'm saying? Especially when the season starts.
Yeah, so he wants to get it out the way. He's like, look, whatever needs to be done, let's get it done this summer because when the season starts, he's not gonna have time for that. Like he he seems like he's keeping a positive outlook on things. I could say that he knows what it's going to take in order to not deal with daily pain. You know what I mean? Like he's going through this on a daily because his circulation. When you don't have circulation, you start to lose everything. Your tissue, your bone density, your filling, everything gets numb. So yeah.
Yeah, that's why he had his toes to taken off, so he, could possibly save his feet.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
one of my partners.
Fortunately, that's not working out.
Yeah, one
Well,
of
he
my.
took that's for the did he have like gangrene or something? That's to stop the infection or
So
whatever was going on. So now it's not even that; it's the whole circulation. So that shit travels.
his
Once
issues
you
coming from turf toe.
turf toe, yeah, football
Wait,
players
for
get that a
real?
lot.
Because that's like a
Hmm.
common injury. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
In
lie.
football, for sure.
exactly what it's from.
So if it stems from turf toe, do that mean other NFL players that are at risk for later amputation?
Quite possibly. They're getting blood clots.
I think if you keep getting it, right?
I mean, blood clots, period, could be dangerous. Like those embolisms, pulmonary embolisms, and all of that shit. Like that shit, So yeah, if that's what it was, turf toe, and then the blood clots. Yeah, man, that shit's dangerous as hell. So he needs to do what he has to do,
'Cause I feel
and that
like
may be amputating what they say, his foot. What did they
His
say?
left foot.
So that's gonna leave, yeah,
I feel like all athletes get
like
turf
the
toe,
ankle
but I
up.
think if you keep getting it, I think that's where the problem come in at.
That's where the
What
foot
is
across the
turf
belly.
toe? I always hear it. Let me see.
One of my good friends from high school, he got both of his big toes amputated, and he in pain for the rest of his life. Like, you know what I'm saying? He said the pain don't ever.
Well, damn.
Like pain on his feet, or like just pain from like walking and stuff.
Yeah, all of that from his feet and walking, all of that shit. He the nigga. I don't even want to say what he don't even like taking his medication. He just drinking shit. You know what I'm saying? He said the alcohol worked better than the meds.
Oh my gosh. So, like, the simplest definition of turf toe is a sprain of the main joint of the big toe. The injury happens when the toe is forcibly bent up into hyperextension, such as when pushing off to do a sprint or having the toe get stuck flat on the ground. So, yeah, downset hut, you already know that position where your toe is down and your feet are up in a hypertension position and hyperextension position. And when you push off, I don't know, I guess doing too much of that.
Yeah, I think every football player at least experienced that once, but if you keep getting repetitive happening to
Track
you, then I
too.
think that's what it is.
That's a track position too. So I'm assuming track people get that, when they come out the blocks. That's the same position. I'm looking at the actual position, but that's crazy. That's a permanent sprain in your big.
All right, so I want to present some clips. So I want to get into like the toe amputation, right? Because I feel like that's the root of the shit. So it says he had foot surgery complications that led to the amputation, not turf toe. So let's get into this audio.
Deion Sanders is revealing that he had 2 toes amputated on his left foot after he was diagnosed with 3 life-threatening blood clots. The Football Hall of Famer made the revelation in the latest episode of his docuseries Coach Prime, which airs on Barstool Sports' YouTube channel.
The hardest thing of it all was to look down there and see that and understand, once upon a time he was this type of athlete and this, you don't even know if you're gonna walk.
On Tuesday, the Jackson State University head football coach shared a clip on his Instagram page, captioning it in part, "I told y'all we were gonna show it all in this documentary, and that's what this is." He went on to warn his followers about the clip, saying, "This ain't a pretty sight." Sanders had undergone surgery on his foot in the fall of 2021 to fix a dislocated toe and an inflamed nerve. USA Today reports that afterwards, blood clots started at his calf and ran the entire length of his leg. He then developed compartment syndrome, which involves muscle pressure reaching levels that can limit the flow of blood and oxygen. He later learned from his mother that his family has a history of blood clots. Sanders underwent a total of 8 surgeries and ultimately required a month-long hospital stay. In a previously released clip, Sanders sends his college athletes an inspiring message from his hospital bed.
Let's go get it. Let's want it. Let's believe it, that it's real, and let's go take advantage of the opportunity that we have, man. I would not be there today, but I guarantee you, God is my witness. I don't care if they have to take me out in this bed. I will be back tomorrow.
During his hospitalization, Sanders reportedly lost 35 pounds.
So that was, the first time he got the toes amputated. The toes amputated. They said he had to fix a nerve or some shit, and that kind of went wrong and formed blood clot. But his family does have a history of blood clots.
Yeah, they said like a dislocated toe and something about a nerve in it.
Yeah, up in the nerve or some shit like that.
But I did do a little bit. So whoever did mention that turf toe, I guess that's what ended his career. They're saying it's like a career-ending thing, and it led. But the dislocation and the sprain are different. So yeah, wow.
All right, now this next clip I'm gonna run is the actual news article for the recent update about his foot getting amputated.
We talk a lot about Coach Prime, but Deion Sanders, while he continues to offer plenty of behind-the-scenes looks at his first year coaching at CU, this latest clip he let out has nothing to do with football.
It's a meeting with his doctors about his foot. Sanders had 2 toes amputated in 2021 due to blood clots, and he continues to have problems with blood flow.
You just have to understand what the risks are, and so things can cascade. That's what.
Well, I know what the risks are. I only have 8 toes, so I'm pretty sure I understand. It is what it is. I don't plan on doing no more running in my life. As long as it is what it is.
To correct that means you take off more tissue, and you're on the end of the foot, and if that doesn't heal,
so you're saying like he could lose that toe too?
He could lose the foot.
So that is a sobering look at the potentialities for what might lie ahead for Coach Prime. Obviously in the middle of a big life change, but he's got to take care of his health first.
Right. And he missed some games, right? Or was he on a cart during the last season?
Driving around
for a while. Maybe he didn't miss games, but he was on crutches, and it was significant losing those toes.
Yeah, this will also be a story to follow, with so much to follow about Coach Prime this year, heading towards football season, but certainly his health paramount, to say the least.
Yeah, he often talks about it. Sometimes he jokes about it, but he brings it up quite a bit.
Yeah.
If you follow him.
Tell he's in pain. At the end of the day, I think
notice the way he walks and everything. So we'll follow up.
Damn, man. So yeah, that clip was the news article on it, and then we kind of heard a little insight from the hospital room when the doctors told him he might have to get his foot amputated. You could hear him reply, "Shit, he pretty much said it is what it is." Shit, I mean, he said he did everything he had to do in life, and if that's what he has to do to move forward, then he's accepting that. So, what y'all thoughts on that?
I'm sure him being Deion, it's not gonna just be like, he'll be like hobbling or anything like that. I'm sure he'll get like, the proper prosthetics or whatever, is out there, the latest stuff that's out there. So he'll be able to think positive and move forward the same way. I feel like, he has a good mind, a good outlook on things. So.
Now, one thing I did notice from that news article, though, what T kind of mentioned with his friend being always in pain, that the news anchor, you heard her say, he's always, hurt me, but he's always joking about it, but you can see it in the way he walks. So he's probably in constant pain too, just having the toes amputated.
But then I also think that it's not just about him, and I think that's what he's thinking about. He's thinking about his team, because he's always been a team player, right? So he's thinking about his team and not letting his team down. So he's saying, like, if y'all got to do what y'all got to do it now, right? So when I'm starting to coach and I'm down for the team and my team needs me, right, then that's what I want, because I don't want to be down and I'm trying to coach a team and I can't coach them because now I'm down.
Right, but my thing is, I've known, or you hear of people that they'll get like their whole like leg like amputated and like just like certain things, and they still feel like they have their leg, and like they still feel, I guess, like the nerve endings and like certain things. So I mean, I don't know, like I really hope that whatever he's getting, it actually helps him out and doesn't like, induce some other type of things and stuff. I really hope that this surgery helps him, press forward.
The medical term I
Right.
think for that is like phantom pain, is when you can still feel the limb that you previously had, or you could still feel the pain in that area even though the area is no longer there.
Exactly. Would you
It's
say phantom?
yeah, phantom pain.
Phantom. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was
It's like
called Ghost Limb or some
ghost
shit.
limb, that's another one for it too. Yep. It's like phantom limb, phantom pain. It's like, for instance, some people were amputees, or let's say if you had like a serious injury and that leg was cut off and had to basically patch that up, you could still feel the leg still there or something, or you could still feel the pain in like your foot, even though your foot isn't there. It's like it's a psychological thing. It takes like years and years and years worth of physical therapy, actual therapy to like get through that. So if he is coaching currently, he's gonna have to take some time off and like actually take care of that and go through physical therapy, so on and so forth, in order for him to like get back into what he's doing. That's a lot on the body. Losing a limb is a very traumatic for really anyone.
Well, I remember reading in the article that I just read that the doctor was basically, if I'm not mistaken, he said that he has to heal properly, in order to prevent XYZ. So, you're right, Tommy. He's gonna have to take some time off, to really heal properly, so that he
And
can prevent further, issues.
and that's could be a problem, et cetera, especially like males in hospitals and doctors and stuff, because they feel like they'll just work out the pain, like it'll be okay, but you actually have to take time and rest your body for it to fully heal. That's why it's a high number of males not what I'm saying, as far as their body goes, and their when they get deceased, because they never want to go to the hospital. They never want to. They just feel like they can just brush it off and it'll be okay. Like it'll take a few days and they'll be okay. But no, you actually have to heal your body. You actually, like, when you have those type of things and those pains, and especially amputation and surgery, you have to literally take your time. You have to sit. And sometimes people are not mentally prepared to do that.
And plus, you don't get a prosthetic right away, right? Like that takes time for after they cut off that area, nub it up. That'll take time before you can actually put a prosthetic on it, just because they want to see like how you're doing without it, right? Like, are you able to still move your knee? Are you still having pain in that area? Because when you wear like a prosthetic, there's pressure on that area, and they want to avoid you having circulation issues in the future where they don't want to cut off even more, right? Wearing a prosthetic does not look comfortable by.
And especially if your body have blood clots, in your family, like diabetes, high risk, and all of that stuff, you never know. It may not just stop there. So he can get the surgery, he can try his best, but if it's hereditary and it's in his family, you never know. Especially if he's on his feet all the time, the blood have to circulate through the whole body, and if it's not, then that's exactly what happens. And you got to think, even with being diabetic, that's how it could start off, right? First, you get one amputee, one foot or 2 foot, and then later on, the blood is still not circulating in your body correctly, and then you have to amputate the whole leg. God forbid, right? But I'm just saying that is exactly how that works.
Like all right, so he's a head coach, so he stands up all day, man. So this shit is detrimental. Like, just having the toes amputated and having to stand there in pain, right? While the games and shit going on, man, that shit's crucial. But I did have a question for the floor. Anybody know what they do with the body part that they amputate? Like, what do they? Like, what happens to that?
The body part that they cut off.
They send it home in a basket with you.
No, like
If they burn it,
it's
they
like an
burn it.
incinerator. They put it in like a
Exactly.
incinerator, like cremation in a
It
sense.
gets
Like,
incinerated into medical waste.
Or you can donate it to science. And there are people that have requested to
Yeah.
keep their body parts for whatever reason. There's nothing that says you can't take it, but they do tend to just take it. Yeah, there's a man who requested.
I know about the science and all of that, but
Well, this is how I found out. There was a man who actually ate his own body parts to try it. What happened was, I guess he had his foot or leg amputated, and the hospital couldn't say no to him about it, so he kept his own body part. So I guess through that research, a hospital can't deny you from keeping your own body part, but what they'll do is they'll just incinerate.
I used to drive trucks for a company called Stericycle, and we would have to drive like the body parts to Utah. That's where they get burned at from like all the hospitals in Southern California.
Wait, so you'll have like a truckload full of limbs?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Power
Is it a
clipper?
refrigerated truck at least?
Yes, it's refrigerated, and
Oh,
the smell is
Oh, reefer
horrible.
check.
damn.
Can you imagine one of those
That's
trucks fucking over
gangster.
and shit, and a policeman look truck is over body part street? Like what the fuck? Hello?
Imagine driving on the highway and that door pop open and the car go
And a
unload.
land
And
hit you in the mother front
you get
window,
a
bitch.
knee
You
on
be
your
like, what the
windshield and
fuck?
shit.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah, I
like
don't know
that's
how you can.
interesting. I knew that it definitely was burned in an incinerator, but they actually drive it to a site and all the parts.
Yeah, because it can't be burned in California.
Oh, okay. So
There you go.
where's that at? Where would you have to drive to? Like
To
what area?
Hey, hey, so you
Salt
could.
Lake, Utah.
Oh, okay. Salt Lake City, you said?
I think so.
Okay, okay.
I
What
can't
you say,
remember. It was
Beast?
years ago.
Okay.
Here's some sick shit. You want to hear some sick shit that happened a few years ago, back in 2018? There was a
Yeah, I
facility.
think Beats was gonna say something though. I'm not for
There
sure.
was
I was
this.
gonna say something sick too, but you can do your sick part first, and I'll go my sick part next.
Okay, we do sick for sick. Okay, bet. There is a sick situation where there's a facility down in Arizona, and there was an FBI raid. So you can look up the Arizona body raid. Back in, I think it happened in 2018. There was a science facility that would take dead bodies, limbs, stuff like that, people who wanted to have their organs taken out for research, blah, 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 blah. This place was raided back in 2018, and boy, everyone who went into that raid came out traumatized, because what that facility was doing is they were creating Frankenstein bodies in that facility, and then they would donate your body parts, your body, to the military, where they would have them blown up, and told the family absolutely nothing about doing this shit. Look up the Arizona body facility raid back in 2018. That's some sick shit. Literally, they cut off a woman's head and sewn it onto this guy's body. It was bad work. But go ahead, Beast. Go ahead.
So they were okay. Hold on. They were taking body parts after they were dismantled, so heads and shit, and then sewing them onto fake bodies and blowing them up.
Yep, so what they would do is they were taking people's bodies, recreating brand new Frankenstein bodies. They weren't leaving them in the fridge. There was bodies everywhere. They were taking them and blowing them up in the back. Like, it was a whole bunch of shit that they were doing to these humans. And they told nothing to the family, and the family donated their bodies and their organs to do research. And what they would purposely do is, once the bodies got decomposed to a certain point where you couldn't recognize it, then they would send home a random body to the families that weren't even their loved ones' bodies. And this is called the Arizona, it was like the Arizona Body Research Lab raid. And I think this did happen back in 2018. The shit was terrible. If you ever have the time to sit there and read through that shit, it is
That's exactly why I take that donor shit off my damn license. I'm good.
And there you have it, fam. Another classic video from Clubhouse. It's always going down on Clubhouse, and we're just here to give it to you. Please, please, please help us get our numbers up by liking, commenting, and subscribing on our videos. We'll be back with another video soon. Until then, I'm out.